World champion blind runner Henry Wanyoike knows he can count on his guide to beat the odds and steer him through his grueling run across some of the most challenging marathons in the world.
Sana sana tukiwa na Wanyoike, mimi ndiye nakuwaga macho yake.
When running with Wanyoike, I am his eyes. In case of any obstacle, it is my duty to alert him.
Communicate na muodoa kwa shimo kama jiwe hivi. That's my role.
Wanyoike's guide has participated in many marathons across the world, but he has experienced nothing as spectacular as the Safaricom Marathon.
Kaba ikifuguka, nachukua hiyo.
If the cord between us breaks, I have to put it back without breaking his stride.
Kujifikiria tena bila kutatiza speed yake.
However, the marathon is not just about winning and losing. It is an encouraging story of how sport can secure a better life for members of nomadic communities and also save the beautiful but endangered wildlife of northern Kenya. To the nomadic and pastoralist communities of the Maasai and Samburu who largely inhabit northern Kenya, education has never been a priority. Guralo, from the Maasai community, had put all his faith and wealth in cattle until they were wiped out by drought, leaving the family desolate and poor. However, the marathon has brought a change of attitude towards education and created a new sense of urgency among pastoralist communities. They have realized that investment in education is investing in a more secure future.
I want to work hard and join university in order to attain my goal, that is becoming a lawyer. And after all, I will come to help my community.
I am grateful for the help from the Safaricom Marathon. A drought had set in and most of my livestock died. The marathon fund paid for my son's school fees, and now I know the value of education.
Mandela is among the 99 students from the nomadic and poor communities in northern Kenya, stretching to Eastern Province, benefiting from the Marathon Bursary Fund. The fund has transformed education in the region.
Most of our students, half of them are at home because of the lack of school fees, because the catchment is not conducive. So when we have this kind of a sponsorship from the Lewa Marathon, we feel great.
I did my best, so I'm waiting for the next year to join university.
Coming from a poor family, Mureithi never imagined that he would complete Form 4 and give himself the chance to secure a place at university. Like many parents in marginalized and poor communities, his father's wish of providing education for his children was just a dream.
Ile kazi mimi nafanya ya kwenda kulinda huku ni hata kwa kutocheza hata kwa kula.
I earned very little as a watchman. When my son passed his exams, I wasn't able to raise his secondary school fees.
Sasa ile kijana huyu alipopita ikakosa pesa.
Safaricom stepped in and paid his fees from Form 1 to Form 4. I was overjoyed.
Nikasikia ni maneno mzuri, nasikia raha hata.
Up until now, all of the funds that we've raised, and they've been significant, nearly $750,000, has been invested in community development programs and conservation initiatives, particularly in this northern part of Kenya.
The fun of it always is that when we are running for a charity, I think this is something that has special meaning to me, and that's why I came here. I was not running actually competitively, like to win, but just to support the initiatives which Safaricom is doing here, and also to have fun.
I think this year we're going to break all records, because this year, it was a corporate event, so we asked corporates to sponsor their teams, so we had guaranteed entry fee, and so I think we will raise a lot more money this year than we raised last year. And of course, all of the proceeds, after we paid all the expenses, goes towards the communities, projects around the Lower, in Lower, and also we have allocated this year for the first time 10% of the proceeds will go to some projects outside of northern Kenya.
Oh, it's way worth it. It's worth 3 or 4 times what we paid. Don't tell Michael.
I'm very much grateful even to the Safaricom Marathon, because once they initiated the program of Safaricom Marathon, that is when Lewa get the fund of supporting us to go for further education.
Lydia, a beneficiary of the bursary scheme, is bubbling with enthusiasm and ideas as she puts into practice her university experience in early childhood education.
Yeah, that's right. Thank God for that.
You can see real development taking place, and it's in the rural areas, and it's great. I think it's a nice combination of the two things.
Safaricom Lewa Marathon has become a partnership between education, sports and conservation. A partnership that has created a lifetime opportunity for children from poor communities. So far in this region, the marathon has transformed more than 5 primary schools.
Even from the Rook, since we entered the Lewa Marathon, our school has always registered a positive index in terms of performance.
The creaky and dangerous latrines have been replaced with new, decent and more hygienic toilet blocks.
This is Mutonyi Primary School. It started in 1982. It was started by the parents. The parents are very poor. They put up mud buildings. The Safaricom Marathon came in. They started constructing classrooms. And up to date, we have got 9 classrooms which are constructed of stones.
Fundereba, working at Ntugi Mixed Day Secondary School, is the only option he has to raise fees for his children.
I am a parent with 2 boys in this school and I have no means of raising money to pay fees.
The 2 classrooms built from funds provided by the marathon have gone a long way in assisting the community in establishing a day secondary school.
Thank you to Safaricom because they have helped us a lot. In terms of constructing our buildings, it's thankful to them, and also the things we are using like a desk and the books. For me, I have benefited from them.
And yet another success story right here in this arid area. Mutunyi village in Isiolo has an unreliable rainfall pattern and farming has always been a painful experience. But not anymore. Mzee Madhenge, the chairman of the Mutunyi irrigation scheme, will tell you how piped water can transform a whole generation. Having lived on food handouts for over a decade, these families understand how irrigation has made a big difference in their lives.
Safaricom walitusaidia kufikia Lewa Marathon. Tukamalizia tukafinish baada intake.
Safaricom Marathon helped us complete the piping of our irrigation project. Now we are able to sell our onions in towns all over the country.
Na tunaweza kupeleka hivi vitunguu Nairobi, Mombasa, Nakuru.
Kutokana na msaada wa Safaricom,
our children are going to good schools because of funds channeled into a project from the Safaricom Lewa Marathon.
Hii shamba ni yangu na nimepanda kitunguu.
I planted onions on my farm and I am expecting 90,000 shillings as profit from the harvest.
90,000 kwenda juu.
The early diagnosis of disease is an important part of healthcare management, and the testing of children is crucial to this.
Yes, Safaricom Lewa Marathon has assisted us in a number of ways. They actually came in at a time when our laboratory equipment had broken down, and one of the notable equipments we got from this organization is the calorimeter. This is an equipment that is used to determine the level of blood, which we call in medical terms level of hemoglobin. They have also assisted us in the way of providing a light microscope. This kind of microscope I'm talking about is portable. It can be used in the laboratory and outside in the field. It has been very handy in the sense that when we go out for outbreak investigation, it is possible for us to process specimens and examine them in the field.
Well, we had a team of 10 people from Barclays. All of them ran 21 kilometers. I'm the 11th person. I also ran 21 kilometers. It's a very impressive event, I must admit. Something that when you sit in Nairobi and ask yourself, do you really need to go 300 kilometers out of Nairobi to participate in an event? When you come and participate in it, you realize it's a really worthwhile experience.
Not far away from Isiolo Hospital stands Meru District Hospital, another important health institution that serves as a referral medical center for patients in the region.
On average, we get 500 or more patients. So sometimes they are forced to share beds, 2, and even in some seasons 3 patients per bed. This ward was donated by Mafuko Industries. It's a local business group. Now, we could make use of it for like 2 years because we didn't have beds. So it was until the Lewa Safaricom Marathon who donated about 30 beds and mattresses. Then we were able to open the ward, and it's now very useful. They gave us a new autoclave, and that one is in terms of sterilization of equipment. And now we are comfortable. We don't need to refer any more patients because we have enough sterilized equipment.
Safaricom Marathon Fund has helped us a lot. It has helped us with beds. It has helped us with lockers, the bedside lockers, and this one actually delights me.
As the runners plough through the rough terrain of Lewa, with the sun glaring down on their faces, they know that their effort will be the gift of better medical care for thousands of people in this region.
It goes to show the commitment that Safaricom and Lewa Downs has for the community.
Life in the northern rangeland, so close to the wildlife, has its own dangers, as Mwiti discovered.
Toka shule nikituka masaa 12 nikaenda kuchota maji nikachukua mtungi.
I came from school, and as usual, I went to the well to fetch water. On my way back, a leopard attacked me.
Lakini nikaona nishwe akanichikia hapa. Na mimi nikapikisha mtungi chini.
The scars on his face show how dangerous it can sometimes get for communities living near wildlife-inhabited forests. A percentage of the Marathon Fund goes into supporting Cottage Hospital in Nanyuki to provide free medical treatment for victims of wild animal attacks.
There was one woman who was attacked by an elephant, and she had to go multiple surgeries, reconstructive surgery. I think without that fund, I don't know what we would do with this, because they come here. This is the best place so far in this region, and the cost of carrying out the surgery is pretty expensive. The majority of them are from very poor home backgrounds. I really don't see how they would have survived.
God bless Safaricom Marathon for paying my hospital bills.
Management of wildlife, however, requires more than just good roads and infrastructure. Security and research have over time proven critical in the sustainable management of the country's wildlife resources. The threat to wildlife continues, and improved security is important if the animals are to be protected and preserved for future generations. The 24-hour guard given to the black rhino, Grevy's zebras and other animals at the Lewa Wildlife Conservancy shows the critical importance of security to wildlife conservation.
Lewa holds a quarter of the world's population of Grevy zebra, so we've got a big national responsibility, for endangered species here.
Part of funds raised in the marathon are spent to equip and pay security officers who watch over the endangered animals.
So Safaricom have been doing a big job for us to make sure that these rhinos are protected.
Over the years, the marathon has also provided funds for research, which measures wildlife trends and performance to ensure that better management practices improve the habitat conditions for wildlife.
Our choice is to translocate wildlife. Like our rhino now, we've reached a point on Lewa where we need either more room for rhino or we need to move rhino. And so we're in a position for rhino that were given to us by government for them to go now back to government.
We all understand that sustainable management of wildlife in the country can only be achieved if communities are fully involved in the management and made to appreciate the benefits of wildlife. This is even more important within the northern region, an area of about 1.5 million acres that holds about 6,000 elephants, one of the largest populations outside game parks and reserves. The Northern Rangeland Trust, NRT, was formed to mobilize communities in the north to support wildlife conservation and also help them benefit from wildlife by starting community group branches.
Since the marathon started, we have seen a serious change of attitude to start with. Tribal communities that used to run for war are now running to conserve.
The Ilngwesi Maasai would in the past carry spears to hunt down lions and other wild animals. But today, community members proudly carry weapons to protect the wildlife from poachers. Through the marathon, the Ilngwesi community now runs a sustainable group wildlife conservancy with a beautiful lodge in its 16,500 hectares. The lodge has won international awards, and the ranch is today considered one of the success stories in community wildlife conservation.
Since 2000, we've been able to get some support through the donation through Safaricom Marathon to support and pay for children's school fees. In fact, I'm one of the beneficiaries of that bursary scheme. Safaricom also helped us, particularly in providing water supply for the lodge. We used to get water from the nearby stream using camels, using donkeys. We were able to build an intake and pipe water all the way from Garendari River to the lodge.
Namunyak, another group ranch in Samburu, also prides itself for its beautiful tented lodge and wildlife.
We get visitors, quite a number of visitors. We're making good income on that. Last year we made about 2 million shillings, all of which we plowed back to the community.
The Safaricom Marathon support to this community is a village affair. Every year, this enthusiastic community holds a mini marathon of its own to select its representatives for the main Safaricom Lewa Marathon. Participating in conservation has come with a big reward. The Namunyak community can now provide bursaries for its children and security for community members through income from the conservancy. The Safaricom Lewa Marathon is more than man's determination to conquer nature. It is man's determination to conquer the challenges facing communities and wildlife and ensure a better and secure future. As the runners reach the finishing line, there will be many winners. Among them, the children whose future now looks brighter thanks to funds from the marathon that have helped to improve their learning environment. In the Safaricom Lewa Marathon, everybody is a winner.